Well, we looked at IDs last time, and we said that they could be used for a single element, and that's true, but they can be used for a single element that holds other elements if we want to. There are two HTML tags that especially help us to do this sort of thing, and we'll, in this video, look at something called a div. So here I'm going to put in a div tag. A div tag is going to be a block element. A div element is going to be a block element. So here's the open, and what I want to do is that if you look at this, we really have 3 paragraphs of introduction before Alice starts really getting into it and getting help from Humpty Dumpty. So let's do that. This sounded very hopeful, so Alice repeated the first verse. So let's close our div here. Now, because we're using a div, we are going to start indenting. We said we would indent the grandchildren. So that paragraph's going to go there. That's going to go in. These will come in. This, oops, didn't catch the double quote there. 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 There, and then we'll start a fresh paragraph out there that's not in the div. And because we want to emphasize that we've got a div here, this div should come out like that. All right, this helps us have a better sense. If we started the div here, we might have trouble finding our closed div tag. But now because we've done this, we can find our closed div tag without any problem. We have here then our paragraph. Now I'm going to move this from the paragraph to the div. So let's get a sense of what we're doing here. We're still only using one element. The div element is going to use the start, but it contains 3 paragraphs, so everything inside the div element should get the styling given by start, and that styling should be crimson text. So let's save this. Let's come over here and reload, and it worked. Because these 3 paragraphs are inside the div, and the div is styled to have crimson text. It's important to know that you probably remember we're not supposed to put paragraphs inside paragraphs or pre's inside paragraphs or something like that. But we can do these sorts of things with divs. Divs can hold other block elements, and so we can use divs as a way to group things that we want to give the same type of styling to. And then if that's what we want, like in this case, we just had 3 paragraphs, we can put them inside the div. The div is one element, so we use an ID, and that does them all. Otherwise, we'd have had to use a class and put a class in there, and a class in there, and a class in there. And that would be ugly and unnecessarily difficult. And so we don't want to do either of those 2 things. So this gives you a fairly good sense then of how divs work and how we might use them.